Reach us on email ecitizen@kbc.co.ke or use our social media handles, Facebook, your Facebook account, and X at your X account. Or you can call us on 0723 892 654 or 0734 780 124. KBC announcements. Simple, fast, and digital.
It is July 1st, 2025. As we step into the second half of the year, tonight we put a spotlight on the Kericho County government, which is under scrutiny for alleged misappropriation of 28 million shillings. Additionally, tensions are rising in the education sector with a potential teacher strike on the horizon. This and much more coming up, but first, the highlights. Where is lawyer Ndiangui Kinyagia? Court orders DCI Director Mohamed Amin to appear in court in person. Kenya-UK ties. President Ruto and the British Prime Minister signed deals to double trade volumes in the next 5 years. A protest buffer zone. Parliament to enact a law to create protesters' no-go zone ring around strategic government installations. And more than 300,000 students to pursue degree programs according to the 2025 Kenya Universities and Colleges Central Placement. Welcome to Prime Edition. I am Mchuma Odim. Our sign language expert tonight is Anne Wangeshi. My colleague Tom Boya is away this evening. Talk to us on all our social media platforms at KBC Channel 1 on X, Facebook, and YouTube. On to our top story tonight. The Director of Criminal Investigations, Mohamed Amin, is a wanted man by courts. This is after the top detective's boss failed to honor summons to produce missing lawyer cum blogger Ndiangui Kinyagia today in court, dead or alive. It is a ruling. Judge Chachamwita expressed concern over the state's handling of the matter, noting the detectives were the last individuals to visit Kinyagia's residence in Kino before his disappearance. The court's directive comes even as grassroots politician in Limuru was abducted on a Monday night of drama by people believed to be police officers. This story by Ruth Omboi opens our coverage tonight.
10 days after he was reported missing from his house in Kino, Kiambu County, under habeas corpus filed by the Law Society of Kenya, detectives are yet to produce Ndiangui Kinyagia in court with their boss Mohamed Amin, snubbing court summons on Tuesday.
What are we supposed to do if the people who are supposed to protect us have turned out to be the greatest threat to our security?
Senior counsel Mother Karu urged the court to stamp its authority after the top brass investigators had blatantly defied court orders.
The coincidence of the house being broken into by the police, which they now admit, and my colleagues will be dealing with the illegalities of that, and his disappearance.
The lawyers argue that the matter involves the life and liberty of a citizen and must be taken with utmost seriousness by the detective agency.
The presence of Subarus and the gentlemen in those Subarus in civilian in violation of the law has not been controverted.
We pray that you protect that right. Otherwise, Your Lordship, the citizenry will be left vulnerable and at the mercies of the high and mighty.
However, Amin's lawyer Christopher Marwa stated that his client had not arrested Ndiang'ui and investigations are still ongoing.
Give my clients an opportunity to conclude the investigation. So that the second petitioner, Your Lordship, can actually be arrested because they want to believe a complaint was made. And when my clients visited the apartment,
the judge said since his officers were the ones who were last seen at Ndiang'ui's residence and afterwards he went missing, Amin bears the responsibility to explain his whereabouts.
The Director of Criminal Investigations do attend court in person on 3rd of July, that's Thursday, at 11 a.m. and explain the whereabouts of the second petitioner or produce him in court.
The development comes as another incident happened with people accused of being sleuths using several Subarus arrested a Limuru grassroots politician and a youth leader from a local political party on Monday night.
Wa huku wote walikuwa wamekataa waingie. So wakakuja na marisasi na ku make the matter worse, wakifyatua risasi wanamurika, wanaacha wamekota kila kitu. Kuna pali walikuwa wanaacha evidence pali atu wameshoot kitu.
Peter Kinyanjui also allegedly raided before he was picked and driven away. His colleague Wanjiku Dhiga was also arrested at Kamaki Salong bypass today.
Today we are here because of our daughter and son. What have they done? Article 37 of our Constitution allows us to express ourselves through demonstration.
We demand that she is released immediately and returned to us unharmed. That is what we want.
Both are detained at Ruiru Police Station. Ruth Wamboi for Prime Edition.
Staying with the courts, 19 individuals arrested in Olkalau, Nyandarua County during last week's protests have been freed by the courts. This is after an attempt by the prosecution to have them detained for 21 days flopped, with the magistrate ordering the suspects to pay a personal bond of 100,000 shillings. Separately, police in Ruiru, Kiambu County, have arrested a businessman after goods believed to have been stolen from a supermarket in the town during the protests were recovered in his business premises. Our reporter Letua Deborah has the details.
A court in Olkalau has released all 19 suspects arrested in connection with violent protests during the June 25th demos on a personal bond of 100,000 Kenya shillings each. A minor who was also among those in custody was also released under similar terms guaranteed by their parents. The court declined the prosecution's request to detain them for 21 more days for investigations, citing insufficient evidence to hold them. The case will be mentioned on July 21st, 2025.
That is suspect number 1 to 16, then 18 and 19 on a personal bond of 100,000 Kenya shillings each plus 2 sureties. For the 17th suspect, who is a minor, I direct he be released to the guardian or the parent, who shall execute a personal bond of 100,000 shillings to avail the suspect whenever required by the investigating officer.
We understand very well. The people of this county understand. The people of Okalau, we know each other. We know each other in Okalau, and we know the people who actually brought to do the damage that was brought here, so that they could frame certain individuals and certain politicians. That is not something that can be allowed in this country. That is what we are saying, and the courts have come out as the beacons of justice and people and very, very dependent. So let the state be aware that we are not going to relent in fighting for the rights of our people. That we shall do, and that we are committed to do.
Meanwhile, police in Ruiru, Kiambu County have arrested businessman Geoffrey Mbogwa and recovered looted items at his store in Masaku area, including mattresses, TV screens, gas cylinders, 42 liters of ethanol, KRA stickers, and adulterated alcohol. The goods are reported to have been stolen from Quickmart supermarket during the last Wednesday's protest. Stolen firearms from the Dagoretti police stations were also recovered. County Police Commander Doris Kimei said 154 suspects have been arrested so far over looting and destruction during the demonstrations.
We also want to send a very strong warning to anyone who was involved in the mass looting that happened. You have no space, and you will not enjoy the fruits of other people's labor. We will be coming to you, and we will get you.
This comes as police constable charged with the shooting of a civilian in London Estate, Nakuru County on June 9th has been released on a bond of 1 million shillings with a surety of similar amount.
And for that reason, plea taking is deferred to 26th of June 2025 at 9:30 a.m. Before this court for plea taking.
Justice Julius Nangea ruled that the Independent Policing Oversight Authority did not submit compelling evidence of Constable Efantas Njeru to be held in custody during his trial. Letua Debram for Prime Edition.
From the corridors of justice to police reforms, Interior Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen has called for a transformative shift in the country's policing culture. Speaking at the Administration Police Training College in Embakasi, Nairobi, during the closing ceremony of the Administration Police School. I'll take that again. Speaking at the Administration Police Training College in Embakasi, Nairobi, during the closing ceremony of the Administration Police Service Potential Instructors course, Murkomen emphasized the need for continuous police training and the promotion of a human rights-based approach to law enforcement. Addressing graduating trainees, Murkomen urged officers to foster mutual respect between the police and the public and to make police stations more welcoming. He advocated for stronger ties between local communities and the police units, encouraging more frequent interactions, open communication, and responsive service delivery.
We want to see the police and the communities working together, visiting each other, getting more reports from the public on issues of crime, and being responsive, making the police station a more friendly environment where Kenyans would like to visit and to report cases of that they face, but sometimes even a place where people just feel good to come and pass by to say, I want to say hi to the police officer who are serving in a police station. So by doing so, we will make our police service responsive to the challenges of our time, but also reflecting of our constitution.
Let's now shift to Parliament. The National Assembly is considering a bill that seeks to provide demarcation of assembly and demonstration zones in which persons may hold public meetings and public processions. This bill, sponsored by Nairobi County Woman Representative Esther Passaris, also seeks to bar demonstrators from getting near the presence of Parliament and other protected areas. Meanwhile, a section of ODM MPs have taken issue with former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, accusing him of tribal profiling. Gishuki Washira compiled this report.
As the nation comes to terms with the effects of last week's protests, including loss of lives and massive destruction of property, Nairobi County MP Esther Passaris is seeking to amend the Public Order Act to manage the future protests. Appearing before the National Assembly Committee on Administration and Internal Security to defend the Public Order Amendment Bill, Pasari said there is need to protect constitutional institutions as well as safeguard the liberty of persons not interested in demonstrations.
The whole idea of the bill is to protect the pillars of our democracy, all right?
The bill seeks to give Cabinet Secretary for Interior powers to gazette areas in which demonstrations should be held. Further, the proposed law seeks to prohibit holding of public meeting or public procession within a radius of 100 meters from the precincts of Parliament or any other protected area, a proposal that has attracted divided opinion among MPs.
If we don't do that, what is going to happen is the population will overrun the police force, the disorder will become infiltrated.
This particular bill proposal will go a long way really defining some of the things that were not in law clearly, especially the issue of the spaces.
This is a very important amendment which we must support as peace-loving people.
I think we need to look at this issue very soberly and find a way that how do we instill moral values and virtues in our young children other than condemning them.
Meanwhile, a section of ODM MPs has taken issue with the former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, accusing him of tribal profiling.
The Luos, like any other Kenyans, deserve the right to work in Kenya and to hold any position in this country.
There are 8 people from the Mount Kenya region serving in cabinet of President William Samoei Ruto. If Gachagua and his ilk believe that this government is as rotten as they would want the nation to believe, why are they not asking these 8 to resign from that government?
I hope Kenyans of goodwill, people who are drawn to think, will not take him seriously at all, and we will resist this tribal profiling of anybody from all sides, whether Luo or Giriama or anybody else.
Risho Kiwashira, Prime Edition.
Glad you're watching Prime Edition. We are taking our first commercial break. Coming up, Wiper Party leader Kalonzo Musyoka wants justice to be done over the death of Boniface Kericho, plus Kenya-UK ties. Stay with us.
Tuzungumze kwa hekima na heshima, tutulize nafsi, tupeane busara, tuwe na mazungumzo ya kujenga, tuelewane mimi na wewe, tusipoziba ufa tutajenga ukuta.
They say the art without art would just be, get it? We circumnavigate the globe and traverse the local scene to bring you art and culture at their very best. From fine art, culinary art, performing arts, and even cultural events, you name it, and we have got you covered. My name is Kevin Kasioki, and I will be serving you this and much, much more each and every Friday at 8 p.m. only on KBC Channel 1.
You see, another good example. Uko na examples mingi sana za watu wa kuangalia, lakini huwezi kubali. For crying out loud.
Nikawa anazushiana.
Anazushiana na madhangu?
Relax, Buddha, take it.
We went to Mombasa to find some findings about the death of Joyce, and now it turns out that I'm not the bad guy at all. We need to find out Because my experience with those two, they can't be up to anything good. Recently discovered that Ken was having an affair with your beautiful wife.
What?
Welcome back to Prime Edition. Continue talking to us on all our social media platforms at KBC Channel 1 on X, Facebook, and YouTube. Now, onto a story we highlighted for you before we took a break. Wiper Party leader Kalonzo Musyoka says justice must be done to the family of Boniface Kericho, who succumbed to gunshot injuries on Monday at the Kenyatta National Hospital. The opposition leader said the police officers involved in the alleged shooting of the mask vendor during the June 17th protest in Nairobi must face the law.
Opposition leaders Kalonzo Musyoka and Eugene Wamalwa of DAP Kenya on Tuesday paid a visit to the family of the late Boniface Kericho at their home in Githurai area of Nairobi. The family recounting the pain they have endured since the news of Boniface's death broke out on Monday.
Tumeumia roho sana juu ya kijana yetu, mtoto wangu kuenda na si kazi alikuwa anafanya na hakuwa na makosa yoyote. Na tena tunarudi na shukuru wale wanakuja kulia na sisi.
The Wiper leader vowed to seek justice for the family in court, saying the police officers who allegedly injured the mask vendor during the June 17th protest must face justice.
Tutasimama na familia hii na tayari tumeamrisha mawakili wetu pamoja na ile tume tumeanzisha juzi ikiongozwa na JB Muturi kuhakikisha kwamba kuna hali ya kuregeshewa heshima waathirika.
Sisi tukiwa na Mheshimiwa Kalonzo, Mheshimiwa Karua na wakili Ndegwa Njiru, tutashikana na familia hii kwenda mahakamani kutafuta haki kwa bwana Boniface Kericho.
Kalonzo demanded the unconditional release of all arrested protesters, as Wamalwa asked Interior Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen to take personal responsibility or face impeachment.
Tunasema pia wale wote wameshikwa korokoroni wanawekwa ndani kwa kufanya maandamano ya kikatiba waachiliwe mara moja. Kijana Diang'ui alitolewa kwake Kinoro nyumbani. Tunasema lazima atolewe akiwa hai.
We are urging our members of parliament who are bringing an impeachment motion against Bwana Murkomen ya kwamba we will urge our members of parliament to support the motion for impeachment of one Murkomen as CS Interior.
The Kericho's family is now waiting for postmortem results for burial preparations to commence.
We have not yet done any preparations because due to the case how it is, we still have to do some postmortems and everything due to the case matter. Yes, we require a private pathologist.
Give us Maina, Prime Edition.
Kenya and the United Kingdom have renewed their strategic partnership, setting the stage for more bilateral trade and investment. The partnership between the two countries and signed by President William Ruto and his host, Prime Minister Keir Starmer, is expected to double the Kenya-UK trade volume in the next 5 years.
The newly signed pact, which will succeed the 2020-2025 framework, will deliver growth in ICT and also cement Kenya and UK's joint responses to global and regional peace. This follows a meeting between President William Ruto and the UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer at the 10 Downing Street in London.
Just on this, I think this is a wonderful moment for our two countries.
So do I. I think it allows us to go even further and shows the ambition that we have.
The quick returns for Kenya being the doubling of the trade volume with the UK in the next 5 years. After exiting the European Union in a popular campaign dubbed Brexit, Kenya has had to enter into a new partnership agreement with the UK compared to her neighbours Uganda and Tanzania, who continue to have access to the UK market owing to their classification as least developed countries. Another quick win for Kenya is the expected expansion and acceleration of funding for green growth and support startups in the digital space. The Nairobi Railway City project is among the flagship initiatives under the renewed partnership. John Jacob Curia, Prime Edition.
Let's now get back to Parliament. The Constitutional Amendment Bill 2025 is now headed to the Senate for concurrence after the National Assembly unanimously approved the bill. The bill garnered the support of all 304 members who voted, surpassing the minimum threshold of 233 members. 3 MPs voted virtually. The Senate is expected to debate and vote on the bill, which, if approved, will entrench in the Constitution 3 funds, namely the National Government Constituency Development Fund, the National Government Affirmative Action Fund, and the Senate Oversight Fund. National Assembly MPs, while debating the bill, said it will end the legal hurdles faced in the operationalization of the funds. This is the first time, if approved by the Senate, that senators will have a kitty allocated to them for their oversight role.
I just want to register my support for this bill, Honorable Speaker, and also assert, as was said by many members, that NGCDF is the most impactful fund that this country has ever had in the history of our independence, Honorable Speaker. True, Honorable Speaker, is just to say that NGCDF is not in competition at all with our devolved funds and our county governments. Honorable Speaker, if anything, NGCDF supplements what the national government is doing and also what our county governments are doing in offering services and service to the people that all elect us.
Mr. Speaker, I stand also to support this constitutional bill. But Mr. Speaker, I want to speak to the Senate, our colleagues, Mr. Speaker, and request them to support this bill. Because, Mr. Speaker, this bill is not about members of parliament. It is about Kenyans, Mr. Speaker. Because any money that is devolved benefits the Kenyan people, Mr. Speaker.
Through public participation by over 230 entities and individuals, 98.5% supported this. We are quite sure that if we took this to a referendum, we will still get the same threshold. And anyone who therefore thinks that they can curtail this process, know you are fighting the people. Mr. Speaker, I beg to reply.
Present and voting, 301. Voting virtually, 3. So total votes, 304. The ayes, 304. Nays, nil. Abstentions, nil. So the ayes have it.
Hello, fabulous ladies. Welcome to the talk show that's all about sisterhood, empowerment, and unfiltered conversation. We will be focusing on women. We believe in women.
We are really changing.
We are creating a safe space for women to connect, thrive, and share.
Just because you're a woman on a bike, you're labeled in a certain way.
It's not just a talk show, it's a movement.
When they are standing, we need to stand out.
From heartwarming tales to hilarious adventures.
They could ask me, Catherine, why are you learning?
We are turning the spotlight on women who are breaking barriers in their individual fields.
You have to have a vision. You are the leaders of Kenya today.
Keeping it honest and relatable.
Mental health is real.
Yes.
Where there is no communication, there is no relationship.
Join the sisterhood on KBC TV for Dada's show.
In a world where news is ever changing, staying informed is more important than ever.
Join us every week on News Check, your go-to show for the latest in current affairs, breaking news and in-depth analysis.
A warm welcome to KBC News Check.
From politics to global events, we bring you content that matter to you.
We're not just speaking about the governance and how we want to see it, but want to actually participate.
Get your facts, hear from the experts, and really understand what is happening around you.
We need to change our system first.
You have to do the impossible to make sure the message is home.
Stay ahead, stay informed, stay engaged.
Will these people, everybody agree?
Just listen to me.
Let's give him a chance to clear the air.
Catch News Check every Tuesday and Wednesday from 10 a.m. to 12 noon. Only on KBC Channel 1.
You're watching Prime Edition. Let's now take you to Kericho County. The region's county government is on the spot for alleged misappropriation of 28 million shillings. The money, according to the Auditor General, was part of inconsistencies recorded by the county from cash flow of the Kericho County Referral Hospital in the 2023-2024 financial year. Kericho Governor Dr. Eric Mutai, who was hard-pressed before the senators, was put to task to explain why the county executive also attempted to offset a 53.4 million shillings deficit that was erroneously incorporated as surplus with an additional 4.8 million shillings in the financial year under review to correct what they termed as an error. Abdi Aziz Hashim with that report.
The evidence that I shall keep before this committee.
After barely surviving an impeachment at the Senate in October last year.
As to the loss of funds, I would also be glad to know if there was any funds lost.
Kericho Governor Dr. Eric Mutai found himself in another hurdle before the Senate County Public Investment Committee.
Possible loss of fund of 27 million. If it is not a variance, if it is a misrepresented number.
This is after the Auditor General flagged inaccuracies that cost the county millions of shillings.
It's lost directly. But the auditor says, if you look at the second paragraph, inaccuracies in the statement of cash flow, the conclusion of the Auditor General is, in the circumstances, the accuracy and completeness of the cash and cash equivalents balance of 28,704,571 could not be confirmed.
The Nancy Gadhungu-led office established that the inconsistencies in the statement of the cash flows for Kericho County Referral Hospital for the financial year 2023-2024 led to 28 million shillings not accounted for.
It seems that there are inaccuracies that indicate, that risk of funds.
The same variances are now treated in the statement of cash flows. Because that's where they'll be now trying to account for the variances in the understated cash book balance.
The governor was hard-pressed to explain why the county executive attempted to offset 53.4 million shillings that was erroneously incorporated as surplus with an additional 4.8 million shillings in the financial year under review to correct what they termed as an error.
Was there a deficit towards the capital fund?
No, to my knowledge, there was no deficit.
Financial statements, you spent about 4.8 million towards offsetting the same deficit. You are telling me you don't have deficit.
The governor claims that most of the issues emerged while he was battling an impeachment motion in 2024, which he barely survived.
At the time I constituted the board, I was impeached. So we stayed 1 year trying to handle a very fragile assembly. But now we are lovers with them, very platonic relationship.
The Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission EACC that was present revealed that such errors and omissions were common in several counties and the intent was to commit financial fraud.
Increasingly, we are seeing, let me call it financial statement fraud through these kind of errors. You will notice from the Auditor General's report, majority of the entities that have appeared here, you will see those kind of inaccuracies. We call them errors. But there could be underlying fraud.
The chair of the committee, Godfrey Ososi, said action must be taken or the accountants of the counties found to have abetted the siphoning of the funds.
Moving forward, all accountants who are involved in this kind of thing, we will write to your professional body and ask them to take action on you.
This comes as the committee is expected to visit Kericho County in the coming days. Abdiaziz Hashim from Parliament Buildings, Prime Edition.
On to health matters. Kenyan healthcare stakeholders are set to benefit from cutting-edge diagnostic technologies, training and expertise from Japan after a Japanese-based healthcare giant, Sysmex, opened its East Africa regional office in Nairobi. According to the CEO and president of Sysmex, EMEA, Alan Baverell, the new office will enable the company to better serve the East African market and support the growth of healthcare infrastructure in the region. The opening of the office was witnessed by senior government officials, including representatives from the Office of the First Lady, ambassadors from Japan and Germany, and healthcare leaders.
His Excellency, the Ambassador of Germany to Kenya, Mr. Sebastian. The fact that we have an office here in Nairobi does not mean we will only serve the Nairobi area. Most of the time we have people in all the region, and we would like to offer our solution to the different segments we have in the market. So sometimes we have so-called eye-on customer for which we can serve the customer with equipment that goes until 1,000 samples a day or 2,000 samples a day.
Residents of the local sales office, they will have access to more detailed information surrounding the products, regular maintenance and repair service of them, and also skill building of their laboratorians who use them.
We're happy also to hear that a lot of the input material is coming from Germany. Mr. Völkel told me a lot of it is produced in Neumünster. So together with the made in Japan sort of basis of the company and the ingredients coming from Germany, but also from Netherlands and other parts of Europe.
Presence here today demonstrates not only your global commitment to quality and innovative in diagnostic, but also your confidence in Kenya and East Africa as a region of opportunity and growth.
Excellent.
A total of 310,502 students have been placed in various programs in universities and colleges through the Kenya Universities and Colleges Central Placement Service. The Cabinet Secretary for Education, Julius Migos Ogamba, said that out of the 244,563 Kenyans who qualified for degree programs in 2024, a total of 201,695 applied for placement to various levels. He further encouraged qualified students who did not apply for placement to apply following the reopening of the COOPS portal.
Cabinet Secretary for Education Julius Migos Ogamba on Tuesday presided over the Kenya Universities and Colleges Central Placement Service placement results. Ogamba noted that the placement process adopted a phased placement process and it covered students from the 2024 cohort and prior years. The first phase targeted students seeking placement opportunities at the Kenya Medical Training College, National Polytechnics and other public technical and vocational training institutions for the March 2025 and May 2025 intakes.
In this process, a total of 93,207 applicants were placed in government TVET institutions. Many of these students have already reported for studies for the March and May intake, while the rest will be admitted for the September intake.
The second phase, CUSPS opened applications for placements to universities and teacher training colleges for the September 2025 intake. A total of 986,137 opportunities were available across degree and diploma programs.
In addition to the existing ones, this year the government established 2 additional public colleges, the Kabaranet University College and the Nyandarua University College.
A total of 310,502 students have been placed to various programs in universities and colleges, out of the 244,563 who scored C+ and above in 2024.
Of the 244,563 candidates who scored C+ and above in 2024, 194,372 which is 80%, have been placed to programs at various levels.
Other highlights from the placement include 25,034 students placed to KMTC programs, including 6,750 with university entry grades. CUSPs also placed 11,636 students in teacher education programs for primary and secondary education.
10,800 have already been placed in diploma in primary teacher education programs with a capacity of 11,088. A further 836 have been placed in diploma in secondary teacher education with a capacity of 2,735.
The CS added that the placement opportunities still exist for the qualified students who did not apply, and further encouraged them to apply for programs at the Open University of Kenya, whose admission is continuing. Following the completion of the placement process, students are now waiting to join various institutions. For Prime Edition, I am Teresa Mutai.
Are you a talented artist, or are you passionate about a topic you want to discuss? But money can be very hard to find for an upcoming artist. Don't worry, Studio Mashinani has got your back. Sign up on ajira.co.ke to book a session with our music and video producers across the country. Work on your music, jingles, spoken words, and even podcasts to realize your dream, all for free. Studio Mashinani, Radani Talent.
We can't afford to trust anyone.
Kuna kitu tunatuficha.
Kisaka. I am tired of your silly misjudgment about me. What do you think I'm hiding? Huh?
Pepo yote uponywa na Mungu.
Are you seriously losing it, Mama Paul?
Ninauliza, kuna mtu anaangalia ng'ombe zangu kweli?
I told you I got your back. Did they feed you?
Nataka kunifuta kazi? Nani? Uko umefuta kazi? Wewe, udaku utawacha.
Tumpenda vitu kama hizi. Tall, American, Canadian, husband material, naziringi. Nilikuambia non-members are not supposed to be here without my permission.
Wait, mimi niliita huyo hapa.
Well, thank you, Muchima, for taking us through the first part of the bulletin. Now I take you through the business news of the day. My name is Wairimu Jenga, and the testing cycle for petroleum products such as diesel, petrol, aviation fuels, and lubricants will now take 7 hours, down from the previous 24 hours after the Kenya Bureau of Standards inked an agreement with Kenya Pipeline Company. The strategic service level agreement will see all petroleum cargo entering Kenya tested in KPC accredited laboratories. KEBS Managing Director Esther Ngari says joint testing and real-time monitoring at various pipelines and depot points would further mitigate the risk of contamination or adulteration.
Between January and March 2025, the Energy and Petroleum Regulatory Authority closed 9 fueling stations for selling adulterated and export-bound fuel, following a survey across 1,360 stations across the country. To show up more capacity in quality assurance, the Kenya Bureau of Standards will be utilizing Kenya Pipeline Company labs to test the quality of petroleum products such as diesel, petrol, aviation fuels and lubricants.
We are signing the service level agreement, which is the SLA, that is going to bring us together as two government entities working in harmony, working together in terms of the testing of all petroleum products, that is testing for Kenya and the region, will be done by all our laboratories. We have 7 from the source, which is from Mombasa all the way to Eldoret, Kisumu.
The labs, which are strategically located within major depots and the Kipevu oil terminal in Mombasa County, are expected to deliver rapid, accurate and internationally benchmarked results using globally recognized ASTM and Energy Institute standards.
In our strategic plan, we have focused on
moving from the PVOC to destination inspection, which means that we will need to build capacity in the country in terms of testing of all the products that get into the country.
Stakeholders have lauded the move, saying it will bolster Kenya's reputation as a regional petroleum hub. Kenya supplies petroleum products to countries in the region, including Uganda, Rwanda, and the Democratic Republic of Congo. The 3-year agreement, valued at an estimated 45 million shillings, is designed to transform the national fueling testing regime by leveraging KPC's network of 7 technically equipped labs, 6 of which are dedicated to petroleum testing and 1 to environmental analysis. Regina Manyara reporting for Prime Edition.
Kenya is setting aside 10,000 acres of land to establish industrial parks along the entire length of the standard gauge railway from Mombasa to Malaba. Industry Principal Secretary Dr. Juma Muhwana says government land that is available in places like Mariakani, Athi River, Eldoret and Bungoma will be used to invite investors to establish the parks in a build, operate, transfer model.
According to the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics 2025 Economic Survey, the manufacturing sector has also impacted Kenya's economic performance in 2024, which grew by only 2.8%, up from 2.2% in 2023, contributing 7.3% to the GDP. The volume of output increased by 4.4% compared to 2.8% the previous year, despite the decline in credit to the sector. The industry remains anchored by agro-processing mainly and low-value assembly. That is why Kenya is turning to new approaches to ignite more manufacturing.
Part of what we are planning is how to create investment corridors along the rail so that as the containers offload what they have, we are also able to load some of the products back to Mombasa and for export. And that's why we have created a special economic zone in Dongo Kundu, which already is under construction.
The government wants to woo investors to do value addition in Kenya's cash crop value chains through the country's SGR in order to evacuate goods from future industrial parks.
Creating industrial spaces, and we are now looking for investors, people that we can partner to build some of these industrial parks on a build, operate and transfer. And we are talking to our Chinese friends here to say they can pick up the land in Nakuru, build an industrial park and bring Chinese investors. Then we will go to Eldoret, we can do an Italian industrial park or something like that. And that's exactly what we are trying to do.
The Kenya government did a lot of achievements and doing these achievements in Kenya here. As the Kenya Chinese Chamber of Commerce, we can see investing in Kenya bring us a lot of confidence. Today, Shenzhen City, they come here for this forum, also can give us chance to learn from each other.
They were speaking at the Kenya-China Economic and Trade Exchange Conference, where Kenya was making a case for its industrialization potential.
He find a lot of business opportunities in Kenya, and especially for logistics and port, even for finance, high-end manufacturing, and even for the financial services. And he thinks he can invest around up to $1.5 billion.
Kenya has also been encouraging investors to invest in the country's agricultural value chain, including agro-processing, especially in tea, coffee, avocado and flowers.
Kenya is looking to emulate great techno-cities like Shenzhen. Imagine growing from a 7% contribution to GDP to 20% of manufacturing to GDP. Alan Oko, Prime Edition.
In a major win for motor vehicle importers and dealers, the Kisumu High Court has temporarily suspended the implementation of the Kenya Revenue Authority's new tax on motor vehicles pending the hearing and determination of a petition against it. The updated current retail selling price was set to take effect on 1st of July 2025. Now, Justice Joe M. Omido issued the orders following a petition filed by Elizabeth Akinyi against KRA, the Attorney General and other parties. The petition challenged the legality and timing of the revised CRSP guidelines. The court, while certifying the matter as urgent, directed that the implementation of the CRSP updates as outlined in KRA's circular dated 22nd May 2025 and the public notice issued on the 30th May 2025 be stayed until 17th July 2025 when the matter will be heard inter partes. Now, the adoption of artificial intelligence is becoming critical for Kenya's construction sector to meet quality, climate and cost demands. Public Works Principal Secretary Joel says innovation in the construction industry is key, affirming that the government will continue partnering with private sector innovators to integrate advanced technologies in the ongoing affordable housing program.
Plagued by recurrent structural failures, substandard materials and the increasing unpredictability of weather patterns, construction industry stakeholders are calling for more data-driven approach to how buildings are built and maintained.
Cheap is not actually cheap. So even if on a per litre basis, this product can be expensive, but when you're looking at a product that's going to last you 10, 15 years, 20 years, against protection, in protection against heavy rain, high humidity. Paint inside should last you ages. The paint outside should last you many, many years. And that is why we also have had our share of that market in affordable housing as well.
We are encouraged by the innovation in the private sector. This product will also be part and parcel of a product range that the government, through the partnership we have, that will be utilized by the affordable housing program and other programs.
But alongside technical innovation, there is a growing alarm over the prevalence of counterfeit construction materials that continue to jeopardize both public safety and public investments.
What we as a manufacturer would request and would urge all our consumers to do is do buy your products from the right kind of suppliers, the right kind of outlets, the reputable outlets out there.
The government have held a number of conversations with regulatory authorities to revitalize and ensure that they seal loopholes. Kenyans need quality service, they need value for money, and we are not ready to entertain the counterfeiting.
Paintmaker Basco launched its Aquatech Rainshield innovation, which utilizes artificial intelligence to predict weather-driven performance needs and align product aesthetics with consumer trends while optimizing environmental sustainability. Trevor Ngendo for Prime Edition.
The Alliance for a Green Revolution in Africa is set to commercialize biofortified Nyota beans in Kenya. Agra Commercialization Officer Sami Okita says the high iron, protein and zinc biofortified beans will be commercialized in an initial 5 counties in a bid to boost nutrition and promote agri-business.
Bean production increased by 4.2% to 10 million bags last year, with prices for the commodity decreasing 13% to 149 shillings per kilo. Players in the bean value chain say the price drop was due to the poor quality of the beans, despite the high demand. The Kenya Agricultural and Livestock Research Organization has developed a high-yielding biofortified bean variety that is high in iron, protein, and zinc content. Cereal Growers Association is set to commercialize and promote growing of biofortified Nyota bean variety in Embu, Tharaka Nithi, Elgeyo Marakwet, Narok and Bomet.
Kenya tuko sehemu 5. Embu, Elgeyo Marakwet, Narok na Bomet. Hapo ndio project iko.
Nyota beans ni baina ya maharagwe ambayo iko na madini ambayo inaitwa high iron, yani iron. Na kama ujuavyo, tuko na shida kubwa sana ya malnutrition hasa kwa watoto.
In measures aimed at strengthening biofortified bean market linkages, the association is in talks with schools to prioritize purchasing fortified beans for their school feeding programs.
Tunafurahia kwamba nutrition wise tunainua watoto pia wanafunzi. Na pia wakulima tunawatafutia soko. Kumaanisha kwamba wale wakulima wako sehemu ya shule tunawawezesha kwamba wanaweza kuuza marage kwa shule.
The bean is drought tolerant and early maturing, making them suitable for cultivation in various ecological zones and assisting farmers adapt to climate change.
CGA inafanya kazi na wakulima 3,500 hapa Embu. Hawa wakulima 3,500 wanasaidiwa na CGA na input ama na mbegu za kupanda.
The highly nutritious Nyota variety is also being rolled out in Malawi and Tanzania.
Now, as we come to a close, this is just for those who are yet to file their taxes. Taxpayers have an extra 5 days until Saturday, the 5th of July, 2025, to file their tax returns after Kenya Revenue announced the extension. So if you have not filed your returns, you have 5 more days to have done that. And that's where we put a cap on tonight's business news. On the other end of the studio, I am joined by Okumu. How are you, Bernard Okumu? Over to you.
Thank you so much, Nimo. And just to let you know that I did file my tax earlier, so there'll be no need for the rush.
At least you were not caught by the deadline.
Never. I did follow the guidelines. Doing it early is always the best, right?
All right.
Have you filed yours?
Of course, definitely.
Thank you so much. It is time for me.
Definitely, yes.
Yes, indeed. And it is time for me to walk you through the day's sports. I'm Bernardo Kumu. Let's begin with rugby, where Kabras Sugar flanker Patrick Sabatia is among 4 debutants who have been selected in the national men's 15th rugby team. Simbas headed to Uganda for the Africa Rugby Cup, scheduled from the 8th to 19th of this month. Now, Sabatia was named in the 28-man 15th national rugby team alongside 3 foreign-based players.
It will be a do or die for Kenya Simbas, who are yet to qualify for the Rugby World Cup. The Simbas will be seeking to orchestrate their performance in the Africa Cup, which doubles up as qualifiers for the 2027 World Cup, which will be hosted by Australia. On Tuesday morning, Kenya Simbas team manager Jimmy Munene unveiled a team of 28 players who will represent Kenya in the continental showpiece.
In the field of sports, there are no miracles. We just have to do it. There's no two-way. If we want to go to the World Cup, and we are going to the World Cup, we have to win all the 3 games. We have to be champions of Africa for us to qualify for the World Cup, and I think that's a goal for the team.
The players include newcomer Patrick Sabati of Kabras Sugar and his counterpart George Nyambua. Others include Kenya Sevens trio John Okoth, Samuel Asati and Brian Tanga.
And make sure that their welfare is well catered for. And here we really want to thank our partners who have worked with us in this journey to make sure that our players are well catered for in terms of their allowances and what we owe them.
Meanwhile, Munene named 3 foreign-based players in the squad: David Bunduki and Thomas Okeyo of Novalvit Griffons in South Africa and Bethuel Amani based in France.
I believe the preparation in South Africa has been one of the best I've had in quite some time. And having played the matches 3 to 4 days after each match, that's the format that will be played in Uganda. That's what we've been trying to emulate.
Kenya will open the campaign with a match between host Uganda. The winner of the tourney will secure a ticket to the World Cup. Frederick Mwoki for Prime Edition.
Elsewhere, the International Tennis Federation ITF J30 entered its second day at the Nairobi Sports Club, with Kenyan players continuing their show of prowess in the rankings championship. Zayan Virani was in top form to comfortably beat Indian Arav Dekyal by 2 straight sets of 6-2, 6-3 in her singles match. In another match, Ramji Aswin of India claimed a 2 straight sets win of 7-6, 6-1 against Desponia Koskina of Greece. Elsewhere, Serbian Uros Zovic won his boys singles match after beating German Nick Ruppert by straight sets of 6-1, 6-2. The championship, which is used to improve player rankings, will continue tomorrow with the final slated for this Saturday.
Even though tuko top coaches, tunaweza kuwa na good players, lakini huwezi kuwa top coach bila good players, na huwezi kuwa na good players bila you don't have facilities, you're competing against education system, you're competing against competition system in the country. We don't have very good reliable systems in the country.
And to volleyball now, where the national women's volleyball team Malkia Strikers will start training on Monday at the Nyayo National Stadium in readiness for the World Championship scheduled for Thailand in August this year. The team will be joined by Mercy Minza, Veronica Diambo and Charlene Mayua, who are fresh from the CAVB Africa Continental Championship. The national women and men's beach volleyball team, meanwhile, teams jetted back this morning from the Continental Championship in Matil, Morocco, where they failed to qualify for the World Championship slated for Adelaide, Australia from the 14th to 23rd of November. The women's coach Salome Wanjala said that the championship was tough, but they gave their best, while urging the government to invest more on the sport to give them a competitive edge. The Kenya women's beach volleyball team did not go past the round of 16, while the men's team was eliminated in the round of 24. To overseas, where defending champions Manchester City were knocked out of the FIFA Club World Cup at the last 16 stage after being stunned in extra time by Saudi Arabia side Al Hilal 4-3 in an incredible 7-goal thriller last night at the Camping World Stadium. Brazilian club Fluminense shocked Inter Milan 2-0 to reach the quarterfinals of the Club World Cup, where they will face Al Hilal.
Beautiful, slips it for Aït-Nouri. And it's shuffled. Supported by João Cancelo. Edison tried to shift it. Back in from Malcolm. And into the inside his own half. Malcolm for Al Hilal. Bernardo Silva sends it in. Haaland with the flick. And again! Erling Haaland. Ruben Neves sends it in. Edison thought about coming! And it's cool. Cherky looking for Foden. That's a brilliant delivery. What a finish from Phil Foden. Milinkovic-Savic. What a save. It's in.
Take on Fluminense for a place in the quarter. As Arias looks to square it. And that could drop to Kano. For the point to prove.
Well, and thanks so much for watching. That's it from the sports desk this evening. I'm Bernardo Kumu. Have a lovely evening. Back to Muchuma Odim to bring a cap on today's bulletin.
Thank you, Bernardo Kumu, for the sports bits. Earlier on, we had Wairimu Njenga with the business news. Now we've come to the end of Prime Edition. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your feedback on our social media platforms at KBC Channel 1. But before I step out, there is a story we highlighted for you at the beginning of this broadcast, but due to time constraint, we might not be able to bring you the item, but you'll get the details on our website. In regards to the same, this is in regards to the Kenya National Union of Teachers, NAT, has given the Teacher Service Commission a 7-day ultimatum to honor the 2021-2025 collective bargaining agreement, failure to which they will call for industrial action. Details on that, get them on our website, www.kbc.co.ke. I am Mchuma Odim. Our sign language expert is Anne Wangeshi. Good night and God bless you.
Tuzungumze kwa hekima na heshima, tutulize nafsi, tupeane busara, tuwe na mazungumzo ya kujenga, tuelewane mimi na wewe, tusipoziba ufa tutajenga ukuta.
Women's Africa Cup of Nations, Morocco.
Feel the pulse of a continent, where Africa's fiercest women warriors clash for glory in the Women's Africa Cup of Nations 2024. Africa's top teams, one crown. Morocco hosts once more, ready to etch new legends into history. Rising stars, one stage to shine.
And it is the Copper Queen. They have been waiting for this moment.
Here's a chance for a second. South African lead by 2-0 in this final, and he'll never higher.
This is more than football, it's African excellence. It's women's power. Don't miss WAFCON 2024, live from Morocco.
They say the art without art would just be, get it? We circumnavigate the globe and traverse the local scene to bring you art and culture at their very best. From fine art, culinary art, performing arts, and even cultural events, you name it, and we have got you covered. My name is Kevin Kasioki, and I will be serving you this and much, much more each and every Friday at 8 p.m. only on KBC Channel 1.
Greetings in the name of the Most High Jah Rastafari. My good name is Marley Moses, the positive warrior, alongside...
Yes, sir, DJ D-Rage, the baddest. Each and every Wednesday from 10 p.m. on KBC Channel 1 TV.
Tunakuletea the biggest reggae party in 254 in a yard extra. Extra niceness of reggae music.
Extra dose of entertainment.
When the thing is nice, we
have to do it twice.
Live from Broadcasting House, Nairobi, Kenya. This is KBC English Service.
Welcome to Beat Time Show, the very best of the 80s and 90s with me, John Korani, JK.
Timeless music hits across the decades.
This is the place to be after you've had a tough day. Here we celebrate love and life. Just watch.
The sound of KBC English Service.
I'm the host Caroline Wangishi, Karo Gatata Mushero.
My name is Geoffrey Mongai. News, information and entertainment. KBC English Service, Kenya's official national radio.